Hey everybody, it's Cindy Whitmer here, your leader of Confident Women. You can have it all. And I am back after taking a 4-day weekend for Labor Day weekend. I know many of you probably had a 3-day weekend. Well, I took an extra day. So thanks for being patient in my absence. I had a wonderful mix of fun and home projects and time with other people, time with loved ones, and some time to myself. And it was wonderful. But one of the things that I did was I did some decluttering. And actually last week at my workshop, people were asked, a participant of the workshop asked, what are some of your biggest takeaways about decluttering? And so I thought, I'll go into this a little bit for those of you who are going to do some fall cleaning up and that kind of thing as you're moving in through these latter months of the year. Sometimes we get into the mood to organize our spaces or declutter or whatever. Or maybe some of you are moving. A lot of people move at the end of summer. So anyway, it's a great time to look through your things. So I think the main thing I want to say about decluttering your physical stuff, your material stuff, is that it is so much more than opening up physical space. It's an act of abundance to get rid of things that you no longer need, want, or use. Because what you'll do with those things is you're going to do maybe one of three things. You're going to throw away things that are ruined. You're going to recycle what can be recycled, right? And then you're going to give away things that others might use. By getting rid of things in any of those three ways, so you want to put everything in one of three categories, right? Trash it, recycle it, or give it away, kind of thing. But anyway, when you're letting go, you're saying, I don't need this, want this, use this anymore. You're saying, I have more than enough. You're saying, I have more than enough, which is an abundance mentality, which puts us in a state of abundance and prosperity. So we realize we have more than enough when we are getting rid of things, and we still have plenty of things and even more space than we had before. And then there's a spiritual philosophy behind decluttering that says that when we get rid of things, when we eliminate what we no longer need, want, or use anymore, that we're opening up ourselves for more in life. Now that can be more joy, it can be more stuff, it might be something you've wanted that you have not gotten yet. It can mean more joy, more space, more time, because clutter can be costly. Financially, it can cause cleaning issues if you're really, really cluttered up. It can cause psychological stress to see the piles around. You think, oh God. Every time you walk into that room, you kind of feel bad. You feel some shame, or you feel overwhelmed or something. It can cost us enjoying spaces that we do have. 44% of Americans have storage spaces they pay for outside of their main properties. So it can cost money, extra money, just to have extra storage space for stuff you may not even know what's in those storage spaces. So, and then I think it's 25% of Americans can't get their cars in their garage, or all of their cars in their garages, because they have stuff. Their garages are additional storage spaces they're using for stuff instead of for vehicles. So we have an issue here, right? We have an issue here. So anyway, so I recommend you do some decluttering. And here's a simple way to do it. Think of the word stack. Now, I learned this from a professional organizer named Marla D. And she's got a website. She's got a free ebook called The Art of Letting Go. There's lots of wonderful information that she shares. So I encourage you to dig into her material if this is something you really want to learn a lot about. But anyway, she teaches to stack, STACK. Now, she doesn't mean go stack your stuff up higher. No. This is a way to declutter. Stack, S-T-A-C-K. So I'm going to fly you through these real quick. S, means to sort. So she says pick one space at a time and get it all out of the space, whether it's that kitchen drawer, that's like ugh, or whether it's a utility closet. Doesn't matter what it, or a whole room, whatever it is, to get everything out and see what the contents are of that space that you're wanting to declutter. So take everything out and sort it. What's going to stay? What's going to go? What's going to, what's trash? What's giveaway? What do you want to keep? And then the T is toss. So that means get rid of, sort out what you're going to get rid of, so you know what's left to then assign a space to. Those things may be going right back where you had them before, or maybe you're setting up a new system for things and it's going to go elsewhere, but you want to assign a space for it next. Then C, contain things, because when you put things in categories and in containers, you can utilize space better. So she says, categorize things, contain things, and you will use your space even more efficiently. So you're going to have less stuff and you're going to use your space more efficiently. I love this system. I use it all the time. And then K is to keep it up. Okay, so once you sort and you toss and get rid of what you don't want, then you assign spaces for everything you want to keep, and you contain them nicely in categories, very organized and in realistic, containers that make sense for you, then to keep it up. And I don't remember what timelines she puts on her suggestions. You can check them out. But I know she says to, daily do a quick check of areas, then weekly a little bit longer check, then monthly a little bit longer check, going back to those areas and just fine tuning, ways that you've kind of let it slip a little bit when you're hurrying through your daily and weekly life and so forth, or whatever, as a family or whatever your situation is. So, but if we check in daily with our newly organized spaces and a little bit longer weekly and just tweak them and put things back and, shut the lids and make sure everything's in the drawer where we meant for them to be and that kind of thing. If you do that, then you won't end up in another cluttered mess, not nearly as soon. So remember how this is it's decluttering is a physical activity of literally sorting through things and getting rid of things and reorganizing things and all of that. But it's also emotionally very healthy for you, because you're saying, you're making choices. What do I really want in my life? What do I really want in my life? And what do I really need in my life? And the rest goes. If you do not use it, you do not need it, you do not want it, let it go. Let it go no matter what it is. If it's photographs, even. If it's great grandma's, blanket. If you really don't want these things, need them, or use them, it's okay. It really is okay to get rid of things. And think about who else might use them, because there's so many options of places and people that might use what you need. Like last year, I was talking to somebody about this, and she had an old, like a high school jacket from like the 50s. And she's like, well, who would want that? And I said, you know what? Ask your community theater. Community theaters, they don't have a lot of money usually. And they're always needing, outfits, uniforms, props, things that they have to find that are kind of unique. So you never know. And then, of course, there are people out there who are desperate for belongings, things that you may not like, or things that don't fit you anymore, or they're trying to start over and set up house, and a little end table that you think's old and rickety or has a little scratch on it or something. Somebody else might think, oh, be so grateful to have it. So don't judge just because you don't want something or need it anymore or use it anymore. It doesn't mean that somebody else might not. And there's plenty of places, Goodwill, Salvation Army, there's domestic shelters, there's all kinds of charitable organizations who who would welcome your things. So please be responsible and recycle anything you possibly can, or pass it on to someone who is really desperate in need of something. And then look around. I'll tell you what, when I got done totally redoing a room this weekend, and it wasn't, I mean, I'm pretty organized, honestly. It wasn't maybe on a scale of what you would call, what, you're kidding, you thought you had to declutter that, but when I got everything just so how I wanted it, I kept going in there and I was just like, oh, I love how this looks. I love how this feels. This feels so much better. It's just soothing now. My bedroom feels like a sanctuary. It feels like a sanctuary, which is what it ought to feel like. And I'm so happy with it and thankful for it. And it's very minimal. There's not much in there actually. And so it's going to be really easy to clean, regularly, much easier to clean now that it's cleaned out and there's only minimal things in there. And it's just an open, warm space, and I love it. So it feels better psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. I have more than enough. I've always known that anyway, but even when I was a broke college student, I think I had the sense to know that. But anyway, I'm going on and on. But declutter, that use the stack system, STACK, and you'll feel so good. You'll feel so good. Trust me. And I will talk to you again soon. Great to be back with you. Bye-bye.